Gentlemen, we're almost there. We're almost back up on the road. It's been probably 3 or 4 months since I've uploaded a Hummer H2 sport utility truck restoration video. So let's dive in. Let's have some fun. We've got the rear bumper to discuss, front bumper, transmission, brake lines, derusting, powder coating, roof racks, a lot to discuss. So where to begin? Let's talk about the madness over here. Crazy enough, boys, when I started this is all organized. You guys know how it is. For those of you guys out there who have done a big project before, everything starts off organized and then the madness begins. Bolt bags on the ground, tools all over the place. So there's tools, madness. Here we go. Here is the original transmission fluid. Crazy. There's no doubt I'm likely the first person to change that transmission fluid. Now that is not black, but it's very, very dark red. Regardless, it is due for a change. I've read these people out there online from Clown World saying, lifetime transmission, don't change your transmission fluid. Let me tell you guys, transmission fluid, it can become acidic over time. I've actually seen transmission fluid put in like plastic bottles, like a water bottle, and it literally eats the water bottle within a few hours. Imagine what that does to your clutch packs in your vehicle. Now this right here is the transmission shift module that I've discussed with you guys. For those of you guys that have the 4L60, 65E, I recommend upgrading this component. The reason is that these are all your shifts, okay? Like first to fourth in reverse. What happens is that they get gummed up over time, and these rings, you can see some of these rings, like that one in the top right, D2, you can see it's bent. They become bent over time. The new transmission shift module, it has a plate over top of this, and it stops it, or stops these rings from bending and can stop them from getting gummed up. So by changing that out, that's going to improve your shifts, and you're going to be like, oh, wow, I didn't realize my transmission can shift that smooth. So again, that's what happens when you have good fluid and an upgraded shift module. Again, that's from 03 to 07. Let's come back here and talk about the rear bumper. This is interesting. It's one of these parts of the vehicle which you're really not going to see online. So let's talk about it. You have this section right here, all right? You've got the side section. This comes off. This section comes off right here. These are called carriage bolts. What these bolts have, they're square underneath the head. So you can see how I have this set up. Notice that this side right here has two connectors. That is for the wiring harnesses right here, these two wiring harnesses. So that's why there are two connectors over here and one over here. Now this piece right here, this is interesting. It's cool to see this stuff because I've never seen it before. This pocket goes right here, so I really wouldn't recommend standing on this now that I've got to see that this plastic piece is underneath this. If you do need to stand on the bumper, you want to be standing, that's what you're actually standing on, is this metal piece right here. Now that metal piece comes off. I did derust and painted all of this with Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus. What's interesting when it comes to this piece right here, your actual light, is that, see these two hooks? There's two hooks down here, and there's one at the top where it actually snaps into place. It just pops into place. So that's really interesting when it comes to popping that into place. Now this right here, these bolts, when I took this off right here, you can see that snap there on the left. Don't be surprised if that happens to you. Not the biggest deal in the world as far as I'm concerned, because again, it's going to be snapping into place. Now, when it comes to putting this thing back together, you put the metal together first, you snap the plastic side pieces together, and then the last piece you put on will be this piece right here. So this rear bumper wasn't bad. But again, this is a mini project, guys. And I think the biggest thing that has taken me so much time is the educational aspect. A lot of this information I've had to self-educate by myself, trial and error. There really is more or less minimal or no resources online, to work on this stuff. So trial and error, putting it back together, making a mistake, and then figuring out how to remedy and overcome that hurdle. So this bad boy, we're gonna get this on soon. I actually had to order some carriage bolts. Some of these just were so rusted and jacked up that I had to use a Dremel tool, from what I remember, on some of these. One of the mistakes I did make originally while working on the rear bumper is that I painted it with a paintbrush. You want to use spray paint. I used Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus. I used the spray paint, the can. When painting it on, it put streaks from the actual paintbrush. So I had to sand it off. You need to sand it off. I had to use 320 sand grit. So it's not perfect. Again, no one's going to notice that I sanded the back side of this and repainted it, but I know there's some mistakes there. When it comes to derusting the frame, that was a project, boys. You can see the aftermath. I mean, my floor, this used to be a clean floor, absolutely trashed. You think, this is on the floor right now. It was all over my body. Now, I had a jumpsuit that I could wear, but I got too hot in the jumpsuit, so that's why I wasn't wearing the jumpsuit. You can just see, these rust particles, tons of rust. Crazy enough is that the vehicle had a red mist all over the vehicle from the dust just rising up, and I had my driver's door open and there was a red coating all inside. So keep your windows up when you're doing this project. Again, more of the madness over here, guys. When it comes to like piles of rust, I put these 4 squares together. Imagine that's a pile. I probably had 3 or 4 piles, maybe an inch high. It might have been more than that, guys. You can see this, or these channels. This is all filled with rust. So absolutely insane. What a challenge. Now the air suspension, I talked about that in the past. Got the pneumatic lines corrected, so that's been fantastic. The air suspension, it's been working extremely well. I want to mention too that if you're doing this project, one of these die-hard jacks, these are absolutely fantastic. I mean, this is a 7,000 pound, so 3.5 ton jack. These work really well, these jacks, for derusting the frame and undercoating the frame, because you can jack up the vehicle just ever so slightly higher and get some better angles. So let's come out, let's talk about the vehicle. Let's get some shots of this H2 from the side, give you guys an idea of just how incredible this vehicle is looking. Let's come over here. Here we go. It's starting to look like a truck. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You can see the red H2 logo. I mean, that just pops. Absolutely incredible. Let's come to the front. Let's come to the front. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Now, I did the red tow hooks on the front as well. Now, we don't have the H2 skid plate, but man, that looks so cool. That's Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus on those 2 tow hooks. Now, the front bumper, I had it laying in the garage. I do not have the right, again, a large enough area, so I will have to repaint this. You can see there are, just from me moving this around, there is damage, and this needs to be repainted on the front bumper. I'm not worried about it. It's out of the way. It's on the vehicle. The roof of the vehicle, here's a pro tip. If you guys find yourself working on those roof racks or whatever, or spray painting them, put tape in the center of those channels so that when you put the weather strip, it just slides right on. The red paint that I used for the H2 logos, They have that in all different types of colors, guys. With that being said, that could take like 4 or 5 hours. Those guys on YouTube, they make it seem really easy. So again, be very cautious and be in a good environment. Don't be surprised if some dirt or dust lands on it. But we're getting there, boys. We are getting there. Now the brake lines, absolutely horrific. We'll talk about those next. These guys on YouTube, they're from Clown World, and they make it seem like, oh, you just take off the old brake lines and you just put them back on. They snap into place, and it's just this wonderful experience. If I had to rate some of the most challenging or most annoying projects that I've done on my H2, when I rebuilt my transmission, rebuilding the transmission, it's actually not bad. The challenge is getting it off the vehicle. Yeah, it is challenging and learning the parts and everything, but seriously, like the snap rings on the transmission, that was probably one of the most annoying things. I would say something else that's up there is the brake lines, guys. Bending these brake lines, and I'm actually still running into issues with the brake lines, is that just because you put a brake line on doesn't necessarily mean it's actually completed. The one brake line it's leaking. When you put these brake lines in, they have to be absolutely perfect. So right now I've got like 3 leaks on the brake lines. I need to retighten the brake lines. So that's just another project in the pipeline. But once this rear bumper is completed, I will be doing some test runs. I've come across some guys on YouTube, or not YouTube, or on forums, like, just go for a drive, see if it seals up. So in all likelihood, I'm going to take my H2 to a mechanic. There's a guy I trust, be like, hey, I installed these brake lines. Can you just look at them? It's a smart move, guys. Pay him whatever, $100. $100 is worth, wrecking your H2. Another electrical issue that I ran into is right here with this pin connector. I got to get these pins on both sides. It was jacked up. So I've seen some videos where you can take this apart on YouTube. Something I haven't gotten to yet, but it's in the pipeline on getting the electrical lights, those rear corner lights working again. I'd say lastly, guys, the thing I want to talk about is cleaning your H2. I bought a foam gun. Let's see where it's at. Let me tell you, I got this NJJC Pro 3.0. Absolutely incredible. Highly, highly recommended. I have never foamed a vehicle before. I can't believe how well the paint clears up and cleans up after I have painted, or excuse me, after I've cleaned my vehicle by using foam. So if you've never used a foam gun before, I highly recommend it when it comes to cleaning your H2. So gentlemen, I'll see you guys in my next video.